Good afternoon and you're welcome to the Polity, reaching you live from the Abuja studio of King Adeyemo Film and Theatre Arts Network, popularly known as KAFTANTV, where we all imagine a beautiful world here. My name is Macaulay Onahashi. Welcome our esteemed viewers from around the world for joining us this auspicious afternoon on the Polity. The Polity is a program that takes a deep dive behind topical, trending, national as well as international issues here at KAFTANTV studio at Katampe, Abuja, the nation's capital. So much is happening within the political space in Nigeria, talking about defections, talking about realignments, talking about meetings by political parties, as well as internal crisis or absence of them in the midst of security challenges across Nigeria, particularly Northwest, North Central, as well as the Northeast region of the country. To help us break this down is no other person than Adeyolu. Adeolu, welcome to the Polity.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Adeyemo is KAFTANTV in-house analyst as well as a political commentator. He is a watcher of unfolding political events within the political space in the country. Like I said, he's going to be helping us break them down as we take the issues bit by bit. Today, I promise you, it's going to be a roller coaster ride in the political firmament. And in the course of the show, we're going to open our telephone line so that our vibrant callers, well, also our viewers, can begin to call in to make the program interactive, incisive, engaging, as well as conversational, because it is their show. Well, security challenge, let's start with it. Penultimate Saturday, marauders suspected to be, Fulani herdsmen invaded communities in Benue State at Otopo local government area of the state, and killed scores and burnt a lot of houses, rendering people homeless, internally displacing them within their own community. No sooner than that was happening, we also heard stories of attack in Plateau State in Bokos, where over 1,000 people, including women and children, have been displaced internally, and over close to 500 people lost their lives, and over 500 houses are destroyed in over 65 communities of that place, where the governor of the state, Caleb Mutfong, described the incident as genocide and ethnic cleansing that is unacceptable. But, the international community has also reacted. The U.S. President, described it as, targeting, a particular religious faith, that is Christians in Nigeria. As while that one was happening, we also had the story of 16 members of the vigilante group in Augi local government area of Kebbi State who lost their lives. They got wind of a plan to attack communities by insurgents, under the leadership of Bello Turji. In an attempt to go and effect some arrest, they were ambushed and, in the crossfire, 16 members of the vigilante lost their lives. And while that one was happening, in Borno State, that is the northeast Nigeria, Boko Haram were said to have taken over 3 to 4 local governments, and in that state, according to the governor of that state, Professor Babagana Umala Zulum, who shortly after that, a press statement, he flew into Abuja, the nation's capital, where he held meetings with the service chiefs. He held closed-door meetings with the chief of army staff, as well as the chief of air staff and the chief of naval staff. And the meetings, sources told us that were centered on one fundamental issue, and that is, how to strengthen the Nigerian military in the onslaught against insurgents and Boko Haram elements in that region. Well, there is a package report by our correspondent in Yola, who also oversees Borno State, Mohammed Saidu, who packaged the report. We're going to take it from our news department. Please, let's have a listen.
Before the advent of the present administration in the state, Borno was simply referred to as battleground, where lives and property were destroyed by Boko Haram insurgents. On assumption of duty as governor of Borno State with zeal and determination, Governor Babagana Umar Zulum, with collaborative efforts of security agencies, brought back peace to the state, where commanding officers and even foot soldiers of Boko Haram laid their arms and repented. However, in recent times, the situation is said to have been changing for the bad, where attacks were carried out over some police formations and other civilian settlements. As a result, many people were killed and property destroyed. In his opening remarks, before the meeting went into a closed door, Governor Babagana Umar Zulum said the Security Council was expanded to give traditional rulers and other stakeholders an opportunity to make their contributions on the way forward.
It seems we are losing ground. This is a very important thing that we need to notice. This meeting is convened in order to hear the truth from the major stakeholders, who are our revered traditional rulers.
His contribution, the Shehu of Borno and Chairman Borno State Council of Traditional Institutions, Shehu Abubakar Ibn Umar Garbai El Kanemi, said Borno, which existed for over 1,500 years, was known for its peace and peaceful coexistence. He attributed the recent civil unrest in the state to settlers who came to Borno in the early years as trade merchants from various parts of Africa and assimilated into Kanuri as a result of intermarriages, saying that a pure Kanuri man is peace-loving and accommodating.
All these problems were masterminded, brought and injected by settlers. By settlers in the sense that they used to come to Borno in disguise to acquire Quranic education, to acquire Western education, Arabic education, local business, etc. Then that our people are kind of good enough. So accept that.
Briefing newsmen shortly after the meeting, the Borno State Commissioner of Information and Internal Security, Professor Sumantar, said the meeting in session has expressed concern over the rising cases of insurgency in the state in the recent times.
Council called on the federal government of Nigeria and armed forces of Nigeria to continue to support the ongoing efforts in counterinsurgency operations. On their part, participating security agencies, the chiefs of the participating security agencies, assured the council that they will do all within their resources, and they will request for more assets and platforms with a view to enhancing their capabilities to confront the adversary.
It is generally believed that Borno State and indeed some other states in the northeast have witnessed ugly situations of Boko Haram insurgency and will not want to see its return. In Maiduguri, Borno State, Muhammad Said, Kaftan TV News.
Yeah, welcome back. That was a package report by Mohammed Saidu, our Yola correspondent, who also oversees Borno State, with that report on the expanded security meeting by Professor Babagana Zulum, the governor of Borno State, who also, like I said earlier, Adeyemo. Babagana Zulum visited Abuja. He visited the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and in that, on the entourage of the governor, were other stakeholders, including Senator Ndume, Ali Ndume, representing Borno Southern Senatorial Zone, where Ndume mentioned specifically that between November and date, over 300 lives in 252 communities, attacks lost their lives in Borno State. We're talking about 6 months. And 100 soldiers were killed, over 200 civilians were killed. You must be disturbed about this.
Yeah, sincerely, I am really disturbed because it's this one event that is too many. It's going out of hand. We are in a country where people are killed and slayed and
Like chicken.
And I'm asking myself that what can be done, because it's becoming too many events in this country that there is no day you wake up. Zulu was around last week.
Yes.
Now it's back again. Now, is there something that needs to be done? Is what we should be talking about now. Yes, it's called security report. But there's one fundamental thing I have noticed that's wrong with this country. Intelligence.
Yeah.
Intelligence. Until, you see, America spends so much money in billions to gather intelligence for security purpose. I think I'm looking at what is going on. There should be a need for our armed forces to open their window for intelligence. Now, what do I mean by that is, when you have intelligence, you know how to combat. When you have intelligence, you know who to go for. When you have intelligence, you know how to make things to work out well.
Yeah. Because
the truth is this: for how long are we going to continue to complain about this wicked heart? I saw the video this morning how they were even celebrating. The people that were talking about, the soldiers that were protecting communities that are being killed, they are also human beings. They have families. Talk less of the different communities that they will enter into to go and destroy and kill. Something has to be done. Sorry to say, I would rather that the president declare state of emergency in the area of security. You understand? Area of security, because I don't see any reason why we cannot declare that, because states are in troubles. Look at Borno, look at Benue, look at Plateau. Those are the places where we need to don't remove the governor. Declare state of emergency with action. You understand? With action to say, okay, we want to deal with this thing strong. We want to deal with this thing, and let us not politicize it. You get what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Let us not politicize it, because if you politicize it, we will not get results. Zulu came now. What is the outcome of the meeting? What are they going to do? And another thing that I'm going to say as a solution, but I'm just thinking, I'm not from this background of complaining. When there is a problem, I like to profile solution. Now, another thing I should do, it is high time the president need to sit down with the security chief and come up with state policy. Because I'm looking at, okay, what can be done? Because, okay, wait, is it until when this year enter into Abuja?
Adeyemo, on that hilarious note, let's take a short break. We'll be right back, and then we'll open our telephone lines.
All right, there.
In a beautiful world. That's our slogan at KAFTANTV. In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at Kaftan Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTANTV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At Kaftan Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
wait. We're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting for September.
Take a look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTANTV, imagine a beautiful world.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at Kaftan Television,
We imagine a beautiful world.
Thanks for being there with us. My name is Macaulay Honohashi, and you're still tuned to The Polity, reaching you live from the Abuja studios of King Adeyemo Film and Theatre Arts Network, popularly known as KAFTANTV, where we imagine a beautiful world. When we're here discussing a whole gamut of trending, unfolding events within the political firmament of Nigeria, and we're starting with insecurity. And the topic is the polity, defections, realignments in the midst of security concerns in Nigeria. And just joining us this auspicious afternoon is no other person than Honorable Ambassador Samuel Danjuma. You're welcome to the Polity.
Thank you, my brother.
Honorable Samuel Danjuma is a politician, a financial and full-fledged member of the ruling All Progressives Congress, one of the youth leaders there, as well as a political commentator. He's a regular face here on KAFTANTV and other national television stations. He's joining Adeyemo, our in-house KAFTANTV in-house analyst and commentator. Well, before you came in, we rolled out a report packaged by our correspondent in Yola, who also oversees Borno State, where we talked about, Baba Gana Zulum's, that is the governor of Borno State, having an expanded security meeting against the backdrop of recent happenings, that is the resurgence of Boko Haram in Borno State, where he did complain that some local government have been taken over by Boko Haram elements, which was put mildly, but it brought some kind of pushback and disagreement between him and the Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris. And no sooner than he did that, he visited Abuja, the nation's capital, where he had a meeting with the service chiefs led by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, on his entourage, where stakeholders, major stakeholders from Borno State, including the Senate, the 3 senators and 2 members of the House of Representatives, and where Ndume did mention that in the last 6 months, the state witnessed 252 attacks, and then over 100 members of the armed forces were killed and 200 civilians killed. That is in the last 6 months we're talking about. How deeply concerned are you as a member of the ruling party and as a Nigerian?
Thank you very much. You talked about the resurgence of insurgency in the far northeast, and I think at this time it's time for every Nigerian, like I've always said, to always ask themselves this question. As leaders, are you there to serve the people? Are you there just for political gain? Are you there just to hit up the polity? See, this thing played out in 2014 before the removal of the PDP and Goodluck Jonathan, and we saw how it all played out. See, I think one mistake those from Borno are doing is they forget the fact that Tinubu, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is not Goodluck Jonathan. You can't push him aside. He's not someone. He's not a push aside person. And it's high time we begin to tell ourselves. I even say this thing: there is no way insecurity will strive in a place and the locals are not part of it. If they are not part of it, it will not. Because for every stranger that comes into anywhere, there is a notice that there's a new face in this vicinity. This is what are their missions and what are their actions. See, Nigerians should wake up at this time. I think we young ones from the north, whenever it comes to election time and when they want to get vote, I remember in 1999 when President Olusegun Obasanjo became president, he appointed a man from my place, late Ogoye, as chief of defense staff, and the Northerners came and said no, he was not a Northern, and he asked them, you said 19 northern states, is that man not from the north? I think it's time we young people from the north wake up and take our destiny into our hands. We cannot continue to be controlled by this set of people who thinks of nothing but their own selfish interests. Now look at the person of Ndume. I want to start from him first, because before I go to the governor, I had Bwala, I used to call him my mentor when it comes to public speaking and the rest of them, where he was talking about Ndume, and we begin to ask. Ndume has been in the house from, he was 4 years in the House of Reps and 16 years now running in the Senate. He has been minister, he has been chairman committee on defense and army and the rest of them. We begin to ask this question. Ndume's entire district is where the bulk of these issues are coming from. What has Ndume done? What bill has Ndume raised in the National Assembly that has been to the betterment of the people from where he comes from? He has not done nothing. Now back to the governor. I don't understand why governors, the minute you see them at their first term, you begin to clap for them and praise them, not knowing that maybe at the end of their second term, they begin to do things that you begin to ask yourself questions. Zulum started very well. I don't know why he wants to allow politics now spoil the good name that he has already made for himself in the first place. Even when in the heat of Boko Haram, when Zulum came in, Zulum was always going to the battlefront and telling us that things were well, Meduguri was okay, and everything was fine. And then we had a northern president. Why is it not now that we have a southern president that is saying, see, it is time we tell ourselves the truth. I've said this the second time. Insecurity, General Sani Abacha said insecurity cannot survive 24 hours if they are not state players in it. Now we begin to ask ourselves this question: who are those sponsoring Boko Haram? I think it is now on the NSA. The NSA is one, I've said it in different forums, that is one of the best NSA we have had since the return of democracy, and it is time for him to begin to mention names, those who are enemy of state. No need of covering anybody. Tell us who are these people sponsoring these people, where are they getting their funding from? You can't tell me a non-state actor is more powerful than a state actor. It's not possible, because as a state actor you have right to buy more ammunition and the rest of them from the international community and the rest of them. These guys buy from the black market. So tell us who are the people behind these people. Expose them. The minute you expose those behind evil, you are beginning to curb evil. The more you keep covering them, the more they continue to do evil. So at this point, let the young people from the north wake up and begin to ask our fathers this question: if our grandfathers did what they are doing, would there have been anywhere for them to loot again?
Okay, let's talk about before I come to Adeyemo, we're still on security. There was also an attack. It was massive. You know, it smacks of coordinated attack in Bokos, the area of Plateau State, where over 1,000 people are internally displaced currently as we are talking. And the only response coming from government was, to give NEMA a marching order, which is usual. It's our tradition here. They went with blankets, they went with noodles, until these people are suffering. Caleb Mutfwan, the governor of the state, called it genocide and ethnic cleansing. Do you agree? Because you say we should call a spade a spade.
See, first, I owe my allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm a party man to the core, but when it is time to say the truth, we say the truth the way the truth is. What is happening in the north is painful, is disheartening, and I think our leaders should wake up and begin to the state governor first is the chief executive officer of the state, just the same like the state governor in Borno and the rest of them. See, I think it's time young people should not allow this defeated and defeated association of politicians come to decide the way they should go and the way things should be done. First, we should ask ourselves those questions. We are humans. Human's life is very, very sacrosanct.
Yeah.
Do we keep on taking human lives like now human lives is even cheaper than fowl that is in the market? Do we continue killing human beings just because we want to score a political point? No. I said this. Whoever thinks that resurgence of insecurity in the north will deter President Bola Ahmed Tinubu from coming back for a second term should just wake up from his sleep and his slumber, because there's nothing. If he would have withstand all the forces, even when he was out of power for almost 20 years and came in as president, then imagine what will happen. Because the truth is this man actually delivering on the dividends of democracy? Yes. Has he done all he wants to do? No. Is he willing to do more? Yes. Are we ready to do? While I was coming into the studio, I had to rush and pick because I needed to meet up with time. I had to pick up a cab, and I began to reason. this administration has done a lot. Do you know that this administration has been providing kits for conversion for public for transport vehicles, that's vehicles registered with NUT, for free, for conversion to a CNG, and it has been happening, and they won't come to tell you that has not affected the price of transport fare, because why? Nigerians, we are always very self-centered, we're always selfish. When it favors us, we don't talk. When we feel it begins to touch us a bit, we begin to shout, and the rest of them. This government is doing a lot. Now, the killing in Plateau, I keep saying this thing. There is no way insecurity will happen anywhere, and the people there are not aware. Now, I remember some few weeks ago, the DG of DSS was giving an example of Tafawa Balewa, and he said how the Tafawa Balewa community were able to curb insecurity. What did they do? They woke up and told themselves that at this point we need to defend ourselves. He said no matter who you think you are, no matter how powerful you think you are, when you get into that community, you can't go out if you came there to do evil. I think the people of Plateau and all these communities that have been attacked should now sit up and set up a security outfit within their locality. I'm not saying they should take laws into their hand, but security how will I put it now? A security team within structure within them that is guided by the law of the land. They should go through. They have lawyers. They should study our constitution. There are ways that they can set up a security outfit in collaboration with the conventional police and the military and the rest of them, whereby they at first we see what is happening. This is where we talk about intelligence gathering. Gather the intelligence that they need, then pass this information to the security agencies at when due, and with this we'll be able to. It's not by going back to sit down and fold your hands and think government will do everything. No, security is everybody's business. We all have to now wake up and say no. At this point, we have to take our security serious. We don't have to leave it all in the hands of government. I'm not saying take laws into your hand. I'm saying do what is within the ambit of the law to make sure that your people are protected and people are guided. The governors of each of the states that have been attacked should wake up. They are the chief security officers of their state. They are accountable for the security of their people. When they were coming to ask for their vote, they promised that they were going to secure their lives and their properties. They should wake up and come up. I remember what late governor of Ondo State said that when he was being asked about Omoogun, Adeolu, and he said within the constitution it is allowed for them to come up. That they started the FRS that we are celebrating today started in the southwest, and today the national body took it over, and it has now become a national agency. So we should, every state governor, every local government, every community should look into the constitution and come up with a security architecture that suits the security of their place and make sure that their people are secured at all times. Okay, as a build up to this thing, the issue you said, Adeolu, let me ask you. I'm going to ask Samuel the same question because he hails from a state that is contiguous, to a state that is in the center of the issue I'm going to ask you now. Samuel Otom, in response to what he said, former Governor Samuel Otom of Benue State set up a security outfit and employed over 1,000 Benue indigents and then armed them. And when he was leaving, he left them intact. Governor Hyacinthe Alia came and disbanded them, and they left with their weapons. He also set up his own. He has also armed them. But the only state that is so enmeshed in politics in terms of security is Benue State. You hear, when you go to Benue and you sample opinion of people, you hear some of the people that will tell you that the people that came, the marauders that came in the wee hours of the morning to attack communities are Fulani herdsmen. Others will tell you, no, they are not Fulani herdsmen. They are Otom people. Others will tell you they are Susan people. Others will tell you they are so. It's so enmeshed, unfortunately, in politics, and it does appear that there is no solution at sight. What's your reaction? Okay, so I'll come in this way. Is it that discrepancy is going on who is doing what? It is still back to what I said before, lack of information, intelligence gathering. Until Nigeria call, I have a friend, he was the U.S. Marine. He was relating with me how much they spend on intelligence gathering. It is only in this country that we prioritize. What is the security vote for? What are they doing with that money? If we have intelligence department for each state, because I want to see intelligence gathering as DSS, and I'm wondering what is DSS doing? They're in private homes. We have NIA. We have so many security outfits that are supposed to be in charge of this thing. So what are they doing with the money allocated to them to gather information? See, if, like he said,
if anybody come into a community and you have, according to the structure the guy was giving me, you don't need to make them popular in the state. These guys are the guys that have been paid well to go around and bring intelligence to the central, be it as a state or from the local government to the state and to the federal. But we are not doing it. Like I said, I'm tired of complaining. What can we do? Like my brother said, solutions. If we have intelligence gathering, we have a basket where we are putting on the intelligence and we are working on those intelligence. I don't see how anybody, even if you are a state gladiator and you are the one causing the problem, once the people that have been recruited secretly have been given enough to gather information, sir, that thing will reduce. The issue of autumn empowering them or giving them ammunition, leaving, and Aliyah came and disbanded them, it's still back to what we are saying. It's on seriousness. You see, I was conversing for state policing, but if this is the way state policing is going to run, then it's going to be a problem. Meaning that we need to go back to our roots. What is our root? National Assembly, to formulate policies that will help have well-structured state policing. Because until we have well-structured state policing, we cannot do anything. Autumn, remember many that year, Autumn was always on air making noise, crying. How other people were killed. Until he set up that structure, and he began to combat, and we saw that thing actually worked. Then, if there is a constitution or if there is a structure, that a policy that will be set up to look at setting up and disbanding or continuity, those things kind of nonsense will not happen.
It will not happen.
Because if you set them up, there are rules and regulations guiding them. Even when you are not them again as a governor, you cannot come in as a new governor to destroy. You maintain them and improvise on what they have done. So it is more of constitutional policy that we need to put on the table, then having to make sure that we have well-organized intelligence gathering in different states, in different level of governance in this country. Then we are talking. Until then, we are not talking.
Adeolu is a strong proponent of intelligence gathering, and he has always reiterated that whenever we will have a conversation around this area. Do you agree with everything you say? What
100%, I agree with him, because that's the only way you can go about this. It's very simple. In the more civilized clan where we want to copy everything that they do, we have what we call the sheriff, which is the vigilante we have here. We have the state polices, state police of New York and all the rest of them, and the rest. Then you have a federal police. Until we begin to do this, we are not ready to. Now, you talked about Benue, and we begin to ask this question. I said this earlier. Are these people there to serve the people, or there to brush their political egos and the rest of them? How would there be a security structure that was functioning properly before you came in as a governor? And you came in as a governor, and the first thing you should do was to disband them. No.
Well, you are not an illiterate.
No, as
a governor,
it's painful. Sometimes when you read some things to comment, I overheard my brother saying something earlier. To comment sometime about the issues of Nigeria is so painful and so tiring. Because why it's painful is because most of the people you are commenting, you're talking about that people have gone through the 4 walls of the universities and the rest of them, and you begin to wonder, what if these people never went to any institution or anywhere? So what would have been happening? If those that are even educated are acting this way, what will be happening to those who are educated? Now you have this structure in place. I'm sure state funds were channeled into that. I'm sure there was a legislature in the states that set them up in the first place. Why didn't you look into it? If there are some things that you felt that they were not doing right, what you'd have done was to just polish them and also work with them. Because truly, and I do mind, it's a devil's workshop. If you leave people with ammunitions in their hands and they have no job again, what do you expect them to do? They will go back and use the same ammunition that you give them to work for the state. I'm one person that always said that I am one person that do not accept whereby I hear that the police dismiss a trained police officer. I don't accept that. If a trained police officer has done anything wrong and run foul
of the law that set up the arm of the police that he is a member of, what I expect the police should do is to punish such a person.
Discipline.
If he was an inspector, demote him to the rank of a corporal. If he was a corporal, demote him to the rank of a constable, and make sure he's within the system and be monitoring him, because you have trained him how to handle arms and ammunition, spend so much money on him, save money on him, and the next thing you throw him off on the street and you expect him to do what? He will go out and go back against the state. So it is time we begin, those in political office begin to tell themselves this truth. Are we here to serve the people? Or are we here for our selfish interests? My brother raised the point now about security vote. What are these state governors doing with their security vote? Now I come back to my own state. People will keep saying that you always talk of Kogi State. When you see what is working, you always want to. We have the security outfit we call the vigilante in Kogi, and this vigilante group has been empowered. And what did the governor do? The governor make sure that most of the vehicles that those vigilante groups are using within each of the local government were bought by the local government for those people with the local government fund from the joint account, so that you now own it. It now becomes your property. Yes. You have to make sure that those vehicles are on the road, those vehicles are functioning, and there's always funds given to each of the local government chairman every month to fuel those vehicles and make sure that they are working. And you could see that at least to an extent the level of insecurity in Kogi has dropped drastically. I had the chairman of Kaba talking a few days ago on social media that people should now start watching out, because those guys are finding that in the bush they are no more comfortable staying in the bush now. They are now coming to start living within, renting houses and living with people within the community. So people should now start watching when you see strange faces and people are coming in. To landlords should begin to profile their tenants and make sure that they are not these bad guys that they are make the bush uncomfortable for them, that are now running to begin to live among the people. This is what we call about intelligence gathering. People should be ready. People in position of authority should be ready. Now, another problem we're having is synergy between our security agencies. Thank you. The police wants to be superior. The army wants to make sure the glory comes to them. The DSS wants to make sure that it was them that did it. No, this is security. This security outfit belongs to Nigeria. They are there to protect the lives of Nigerians. Now, in the recent, the army has nothing to do outside. The army has no business with internal security. Internal security is supposed to be completely handled by the police. It is when the police they overpower the police that the police will now call for support from the army. See, I tell people one thing: Nigerian police force is equipped and ready to work if allowed to work. I give you an example. In 1996, my mom's friend's shop was burgled, and sewing machine was stolen from Kogi and taken to Onitsha. I put it to you that police from Ajakuta traced those sewing machines from Ajakuta to Onitsha and recovered them. The machines had no trackers. So that we won't say it was the tracker that they used in tracking them. These were intelligence gathering. We were able to catch these guys and find out where did these guys go, how did they say, what did they do with these properties when they stole them, and they were able to trace to where these properties were taken to be. So if you equip the police is, if you give the police what is needed, give them the needed budgetary allocation to the police, I put it to you that in 6 months, the issue of insecurity in this country will reduce drastically. But whereby you make it look as if you now come up with a joint task force, the army is heading it, the police, maybe the police there is even, when he even says the thing, nobody listens to him. The other person wants to make sure that he takes the glory. This person will say it was the army that recovered this. Police will say no, it was we that went in. DSS will say this. No. I could remember some few years ago there was an issue in Taraba where police officers that were sent from Abuja to go and arrest a kidnapped victim were shot and killed by armies. In this country, and nothing happened to today. Are you not demoralizing the police force, whereby you are making them feel as second class citizens, while they are supposed to be, according to the constitution, they are the people who are empowered to deal with internal security of the state. It is when it becomes they overpowered. That's when you now every year as we speak, there's another 10,000 policemen and women in the training school. Some few months ago, some 10,000 were released. So what are we doing with all these people we are recruiting every other day if you don't give them the enabling environment to carry out? I remember so many years ago when I was a bit young, you see somebody that was a shoemaker, or not really, I might be a police officer, a DSS, a CID. Yes. He will be doing shoemaker within your vicinity, gathering the information that you needed, and before you know, after like 2-3 months is gone, then you hear that an arrest is done, and you begin to wonder, so they were living with this kind of person here all this while, I don't know, but what has happened to all this? I think it is high time we go back to the drawing board. Okay. The major thing is to secure the lives of Nigeria. Whoever does it, whoever party does it, what matters is Nigerian is secured. We're able to go out to carry out our business. We can sleep at night when we are back home with our 2 eyes closed, and we know that nothing is coming to attack us.
Adeolu, he talked about synergy, and I saw you giggling. And you're eager to say something about it. In America, I've never heard of a governor, let's say a governor of Little Rock, Arkansas, or a governor of New York coming to Washington to meet the chief of army staff to discuss about the issue of security threat within his domain. This can only happen in Nigeria, and he talked about lack of synergy among them. That was the reason why Professor Zulum had to come to Abuja to meet separately with service chiefs. Separately, he met with the army, he met with the naval officer, even though they don't have water there. He met with the chief of defense staff, discussing the same thing, repeating the same thing with all of them. How do you make of that?
Okay, so I will look at it from this angle. If we are talking about synergy, we have who we call the chief of defense staff. That's supposed to call everybody to order and make, if it is to have a policy, and then in the diagram of the policy, let everybody have what they are meant to do. Because I'm saying that most of the time why we don't see that synergy is when there is counterproductive movement. When somebody is doing okay, I'm going to a place in Kogi, take for example Ajakuta. You have sent me there. If I need backup, according to the little knowledge we have in security, I will call for backup. You have sent me as a police. My brother said it. I am the police in Ajakuta to secure the place. Don't bring army suddenly. You can see. Okay, I have a friend in ministry that will tell you, see, these are the issues. He told me. He said, when there are counterproductive movements, there will always be clash and there will always be fight. Okay, we watch movies and American movies. You see, if CIA is at a place where problem emerge, as soon as FBI comes, CIA back out.
Pulls out.
Sir, we don't need to go to America to go and learn all this. Simple arithmetic, as simple as that. You see a senior person coming as order back to what the foundational problem. We need to go back to the foundation of how these armed forces were formed. What are the rules of each and every one of them? Who governs what? Who is supposed to do what? And the to do and not to do to their heads.
Okay.
Has to be established so that there will not be counter issue. Okay. Because that is most generally speaking what normally causes that problem. Okay, some time ago in 2020 in Lagos, police were the one in charge of a crime that was committed somewhere, and suddenly we just saw they were the one at that area. Military guy just came from Abati Barrack, told police to move out, and they started shooting. What are you shooting for? When you come to a place, are you not supposed to hear from them what situation? Later we saw that it was because somebody called them to come that they feel that police cannot handle it. No.
Okay.
Don't look down. Don't look at another force that is working, that is supposed to be working as a team together. You came into the place, you scattered the place, started shooting. What for?
Okay. Now,
so just to buttress what he just said now, we all remember in the days of the last days of Trump, when he was living in the first administration, when the army came to the streets of Washington DC.
Yes.
The American people were surprised. Some of them have never seen a military. It was only movies they were seeing. They were like, what are these people doing here? What is the situation? Now, like he said, if a police leaves Abuja and is going to work in Niger, immediately gets into Niger, he goes to Niger command and register his presence. I'm in Niger and I'm in Niger for this assignment. So that means you already know that there's an external body that's in Niger already on social assignment. Not that you have sent a police to Niger. It's not like what happened in Taraba I was talking about. Then these guys are on a mission. Then you send another force that don't even know their presence, and it becomes the two people that are supposed to defend the people are now the ones killing themselves, and the enemy is now running away. We don't need all this. We need this synergy with it. The Constitution empowers the police to handle internal security, allow them do their job, give the police a free budget line whereby they are sure that this is what we are here for, this is what is needed to be done. I remember in Abuja when after the 2011 bombing, 2012 bombing on when 12 in the one close to the one in the police, no, the one even in the police headquarters.
Yeah.
Jonathan administration and the IG then said that cameras be planted on every street of Abuja.
Yes.
What has happened to it? Few days ago, I watched the young guy, the youngest president in Africa and in the world. This guy from Burkina Faso, right?
Traore.
Has planted camera that you pick a pin in Burkina Faso, you are seeing. Within 3 days of planting that camera, the crime rate in Burkina Faso has dropped drastically because it's everybody. So why is it that in our own situation is difficult? Why are we not holding people accountable? I just talked about the IGD. Why has it not been asked question? What have you done? What happened to social projects 2 times? And then minister, what have people should be held responsible when they are giving up? If you don't hold them responsible, every other person will define to feel that I can do anything and go away with it and nothing is going to happen at the end of the day.
Okay, let me remain with you, Honorable Ambassador Samuel Danjuma, because we are delving into partisan politics. Talking about River State, it's no longer news that there is a state of emergency in River State with a military administrator, a retired officer. But what is news are the activities that keep unfolding in that state. Only yesterday, there was a rally in support of the ousted or the suspended governor, Siminala Fubara. But today, there was a counter-protest led by women. I was discussing this briefly before you walked into the studio, and you sounded there was an undertone of sarcasm in your reaction to it. How did you receive the news of these 2 rallies?
First, when I had Mr. President, who I hold so dear when it comes to someone who has worked tirelessly to enshrine the intakes of democracy in our country, announced such, I felt bad. And why did I feel bad? I could remember in 1999 when he was governor of Lagos State, the battle, front and back battle he had with President Olusegun Obasanjo then, where even local government allocations were held back because he wanted to make sure that he pulled through with what was written in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And at the end of the day, he went to court and he got victory. And that's something that even made the former vice president very popular because he was the Attorney General of the state within that time. And when I heard the president announce it, I felt bad because I think the president might have been ill-advised by those around him, because I remember there was a president, which was Goodluck Jonathan, who said when he was appointing his advisors that I hope I will not end up being the one advising you guys at the end of the day. I felt the president was not properly advised, and I felt bad being a party man and someone who feels who is a stakeholder in the Nigerian project. And later I also sat again and I said, let me give the president a fair hearing and say, okay, maybe as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is more open to more information, security details than I am. Maybe there are some other deeper security that we are not aware of that made him announce the state of emergency in Rivers. Now, what do the Constitution says? The Constitution, we could remember when Jonathan announced declare state of emergency in Borno, Adamawa, and which other state was it then? Where he did that, but make sure that the governors were not removed. Where I have issues with Mr. President is the removal of Fubara as the governor of Rivers State. That is the only place I have concerns with. He would have left the governor and still declare a state of emergency in Rivers. Because the truth is this, from the look of things, you find out that immediately he declared the state of emergency, the crisis, the said bombing of pipelines and the rest of them suddenly went down. So are we sure, allegedly, how are we sure that it wasn't even the other side who wanted the governor out that went ahead and started blowing the pipe? Allegedly. And how are we sure that it wasn't the state, it wasn't a ultrasound just to make sure that the governor was pulled out because some people felt uncomfortable with what the governor was doing? Allegedly. Now, those who are protesting, I think most times supporters pull leaders into unnecessary rivalry and the rest of them. The president of the minister of the FCT is busy transforming the FCT, and I think he's more occupied with the issue of the FCT than even the issue of Rivers. He has said it repeatedly that he's not concerned, even though we know politically that nobody plays with his base. Agreed. But he's more concerned about the issue of Rivers. And people should now, Nigerians should know their right. Because I think the problem we have is that most Nigerians don't even know what their rights are. And when you don't know your rights, you end up, because if today you are celebrating because you think it favors you that the state governor was removed, what if tomorrow the board turns the other way around and it now becomes your own person that is pulled out? Will you also say the same thing? Will you be bold enough to come and defend the same thing? I think it's right time we stop defending nonsense in the name of trying to give you the political coloration and the rest of them. No, what is wrong is wrong. The declaration of state of emergency, like I said, the president might have more security information that we don't know that made him led to the declaration. But removal of the state governor rouse foul of the Constitution. And I don't want us to dwell too much on it because as we speak, the matter is in court. The 11 governors are taking the matter to the Supreme Court. So let's await the outcome of the Supreme Court and see what the way, because if the same Supreme Court ruled in favor of those governors from Adamawa, from Borno and the rest of them, then I believe in the Supreme Court that they will do this justice to this matter when it is time. So let's not then the issue of the rally. That's why I talked about Nigerians not knowing their rights. There's a constitutional issue, and you are celebrating and saying state of emergency is a constitution, is in the constitution. I don't understand. Now, okay, the number of people we know critical what do you call it? Critical government critical infrastructures were hit. Agreed. But we have a state where over 100 people have died within rivers and Plateau or Benue. Let's be honest. I said it. I'm in Nigeria. These are my opinions. My allegiance is first to Nigeria than any other thing. Which state, if we are being honest and not being political, do we think we need to declare a state of emergency? Yeah, right. It should be those states, not the river state and the state. So I think whoever has advised Mr. President should now say, okay, let's go back to the drawing board. We have done this. There's relative peace in rivers now. We can restore the governor and follow this constitution, this democracy. We have paid a lot of people paid a lot to get us to this point. This is the first time we have survived democracy for 25 years and counting, and we should not play with it. We should not, because one thing is setting the wrong precedent. I tell people shouting that the president is appointing people from the southwest, people from southwest, and I tell them you better keep quiet. We're in this country where the president appointed all the service chiefs, 17 of them all from the north. We're in this country where the president appointed over 100 people from his state and 80 board members from his state. Nobody said anything. Today the ball is this way. So we should stop. When we see what is not right, we should all roll up and say this is not right, not minding which party or which region the president comes from, and stand by the truth at all time. That is the only way we can make progress, and that's the only way this country can go forward.
On the rally, it's political. It's interest.
Of course, it is interest.
And there is what is called behind the scene going on.
And they are paid crowd.
And they are paid. So and what is causing this is poverty.
Yes.
It is only in this country somebody is giving Gary as people are celebrating. It is only in this country that somebody is doing road, people are clapping. What is that nonsense?
It's his job.
It's his job. And that's bringing me back to Nigeria needs to now wake up to really check who they want to put in position of power. Because I've seen that most people that comes out, I want to they don't even know anything. It is high time Nigeria need to look for leaders that can really lead. Now, my brother said something. He said it's possible that the president is being badly advised, but the same president can still sit back and say, "What I said is different. Let me not." It's human. If you really want to do it, it can make that declaration and reinstall Fubara back as a governor of the state. We have not seen it before. Why will you remove the governor when you are declaring state of emergency? And you look at the north, look at what's going on in the north. Issues. Okay, go there now, remove you can't remove him. Because he himself, like my brother said, he's been attacked severally. Oh, okay, the people that are being killed in Borno, are they animals? Why are you not declaring state of emergency in Benue? Even when Benue was at the peak of this killing almost every day, was there any state of emergency? Did you remove Otto?
Okay.
Otto was not removed. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is this: let the president sit back and think, and let him be advised to reverse that order, because it's not fair. And we all know that it's a political move. And it's being misconstrued as a political move to take over River State from PDP.
Okay, Honorable Danjuma, let's talk about 2027. All eyes are on 2027. While driving down to the studios this afternoon, I was listening to the radio. There was a political program on one of the radio stations, and someone was talking about. He said it is laughable. The Nigerians are talking about 2027. He said campaigns have already commenced for 2031.
Presidency,
permutations and alignments have commenced for 2031. Let me address the issue of billboards in Abuja. Billboards of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for 2027 are dotting some strategic areas in Abuja. And the whistle for campaigns for 2027 has not been blown. So it is illegal. And then I understand that government owns the regulatory organization that is supposed to regulate this, but it is against the electoral law. to begin mounting billboards.
And when it's not your time. Nobody's looking at it. Nobody's saying anything about it.
I know the president may not be the one sponsoring them. Does it worry you as a party man?
You know, one thing with supporters is, my brother said something here. He said, supporters would I call it overzealous. They want to see. If you watch, I think what is playing out now is, if you watch the political polity, the way the Northerners are regrouping, if you are somebody from the South and someone who is apologetic of the president, you want to do everything also.
You have to wake up
to let people know that Mr. President is also on ground. So most times you can't. I always say one thing: you can't. You don't have. You have the power over the way you react to things, but you don't have the power over the way people out there react to things. Yes, the timetable for the 2027 elections has not been officially unfolded, but we all know that certainly there are going to be non-state actors that will start already canvassing support for the person that they want. Some are doing it out of love for the person, some are doing it out of what to call in the local palace eye service, to let Mr. President know that we are there for you and the rest of them. But the thing is, 2027 officially political activities for 2027 will start from this year, because certainly congresses, for party congresses and the rest of them, will commence in another 2-3 months.
It does not tell them to bring out people.
No, agree. Like I said, you know, the presidency has come out to say
they are not
from now going forward, everybody should desist from coming up with billboards and the rest of them in support of the president for 2027. The president has not said anything yet. It's not time for such. Agreed. But like I said, the presidency has said it. People will also want to clear themselves out of it.
Those spaces for the billboards are franchised. You know, somebody owns the franchise.
It's a lot of money paid.
Franchise, they pay for it. And this organization collect the money, you know, playing foul of the law, and they know.
And the people in charge of the rules and regulation of these things,
they turn a blind eye.
They are not saying anything about it.
Because they feel that it's they believe that it's the president's billboard, so nobody will want to go against it. No, it's not the right thing, and that's why I'm happy the presidency has come out to disassociate themselves from those billboards and say we know nothing about it. Going forward with everybody, stop it. So I think those regulatory agencies now, it's time for them to wake up and do the right thing and say no, this is not the right time for this yet. There's a timetable for this. When it is time, you can begin to. And we should also call out to all party faithfuls and say yes, we know we want to do all to let the people know that yes, we are for the president, to also let the president know that we are there for him and the rest of them. You can do this by quietly talking to your people on the record, go door to door, talk to people, do more canvassing, let people understand what this government is doing. Like what I do as a person, at my leisure, whenever I come in contact with people, I let people understand that this is what this government is doing to better a lot of people. You can be doing that off the record for now. When it is time for us to start the re-campaign, which will be in 2026, which is less than a year from now, then we can now start rolling out all the billboards and the rest of them. Even some of these people should even know that these billboards would have faded off. The rainy season is just about starting. So some of these billboards would have, in another 2-3 months, would have faded off, and people won't even remember that the billboard was posted. No, what I mean is that they would have even faded off. So wait till when it is time that it really catch and it really serve the purpose for which these billboards are really put out there.
My whole point is this. Let the people feel, see the benefit of democracy. You have been elected. Don't start doing poster and billboard yet. We still have like a year to go. Perform. When you perform, you are already campaigning. As a government, bring up policies that is people-centered policies that will change their life. You are already campaigning. There are several ways to campaign than just these people. Like my brother said, it is all these supporters, that are looking for contracts, that are trying to get president to.
Even Wike has his billboards sponsored by other people with their pictures, you know.
They will put their picture underneath it. It's all these political guys
let's talk about alignments and realignments and defections. You know, Erufai was the first person to defect, first notable politician to defect to one of the opposition parties, the Social Democratic Party. And there's a lot of pushback from the party. And the leadership of the party have spelled out the rules of engagement for those that are eyeing, you know, to exit to come into the Social Democratic Party. And there was a meeting yesterday in
Ibadan
by the PDP, the major opposition party that is having serious internal crisis. In fact, it has the worst crisis amongst all political parties in the country. And this is an effort to unseat Mr. President, your leader in the All Progressives Congress. How do you make of the planned amalgamation of other political parties moving forward to 2027?
Talk, but we hear you.
Talk,
but we hear you.
You know, when I see all this alignment, I laugh. And why do I laugh? It's simple. I always say this. They don't call him the Jagaban of Africa just for name calling. When it comes to the game, he's a master in this game. I remember somebody tried for about 3 times, with all his popularity in the north. He tried for 3 times, he did not. He took the master's swing from Mr. President to see him get into power.
Yes.
Now, see, we forget fast. When late President Musa Yar'Adua died, Goodluck Jonathan had to plead with the Northern Caucus then to allow him finish the tenure of his principal, because he wanted to make sure that their plans and policies he was able to drive them through, of President Yar'Adua was able to drive them through for the remaining 4 years since he was off.
There were 7 points,
and it was said allegedly that he entered an agreement with them that he was going to do just 1 term and hand over power back to the North, because the North felt it was their time. Instead of Jonathan, they would have brought in somebody else to finish the time for the North.
But how is that possible?
Jonathan finished the 4 years. Now, when it was time for Jonathan to say, okay, no, after I finished my gas policy, I also came up with some policies that I need to also guide, because government is continuing, and I still have, constitutionally, I still have the right to continue. Let me continue more and finish it. These people now ganging up today in the name of coalition went against Goodluck Jonathan from within the party, and went and joined those in the APC. They called them the new PDP then. They joined those in the APC to see to it that Jonathan never came back to power.
That's true, yeah.
True. And they brought in a Northerner to become president in 2015. Now, in 2019, to be honest, there was no major contender from the South that ran against Buhari. It was Buhari and his brother, Jonathan, and brother Atiku from the North. The Southerners allowed them to do their 8 years because it was said, I wasn't there, that there was a gentleman agreement in 1999 that the South will do 8 years, the North will do 8 years. It will continue like that because what is known in the Constitution is the South and the North. There's no Southwest, there's no South, South and the North. Now, an Hausa man just finished 8 years. The same El-Rufai today that is shouting that has turned to Messiah was telling us in 2023 that there was no way Atiku could become president because an Hausa man was just finishing, another Hausa man should not come immediately. So what has changed?
That's the question.
Is El-Rufai telling us now that the plan and policies he saw that Tinubu was going to, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was going to implement, which he also went to Shantam House to defend? Because he was the team there because President Tinubu was telling them to show you the kind of government I was going to run. It was going to be an open government where everybody is going to have a say in it. I was delegating people to answer those questions. El-Rufai was one of those who was answering that question. See, the truth is this. Politics is all about interest. Take it or leave it. El-Rufai felt cheated because he felt that he did not get his own share from what he expected to get, the ministerial appointment he was hiring to get, and he feels pained. And we all knew El-Rufai. There's no Nigerian, there's no journalist that doesn't know the person of El-Rufai. We remember who El-Rufai went to El-Rufai after 2007 when he lost favor with late President Musa Yar'Adua, which he has even said on national TV that he was. See, there are some things he will answer for himself. Yes. Now we know who the person of El-Rufai is, so we are not bothered about the person of El-Rufai. And if you watch the party he ran to, what has happened at the end of the day? Well, the kind of impression he gave the day he was living with how many ministers, he was living with how many governors and the rest of them. And today he's like the only man standing there. And he's now beginning to see the APC is a big umbrella, is a big party. Let me not call it umbrella now because I'm not the PDP. It's a big party, where we are ready to receive those who are aggrieved, because we have a mechanism, internal mechanism where we handle issues like this, where we're able to resolve. That's why you see that our issues have not escalated like those of the PDP, because PDP was never prepared. PDP was always thinking that they were going to be, this was a party that was telling us that they were going to be in power for 60 years, as if they were God. But at the end of the day, when it hit them, they were not able to, the middle could not stand, and none of them are falling off. I had allegedly that within the present numbers of governors in the PDP, 7 of them are PDP in the daytime and APC at night.
At night.
The meeting that was held in Oyo State yesterday, you could know the number of governors of the PDP that were there. What happened to the rest governors? Why didn't they show up?
Why didn't they show up? Yeah.
So that will tell you that within the PDP, they already know that, see, if you want to get back to power, align with the man at the center. Even if you want to be on your name of your party and just go. So we are not bothered. Yes, are we concerned that some of us are leaving? Yes, we feel pain, because if you have family members who feel aggrieved and they're leaving, you want to see how you can resolve those issues and the rest of them. But if it's that President, it's all these plans is to remove President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I'll say it today and bookmark it. The only reason why President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not come back in 2027 is if God decides to say there will be no 2027.
There are 2 states.
But if there's going to be 2027, by the special grace of God Almighty, with the policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which is already speaking for itself, I put it to you that we will keep on telling Nigerians what he's doing well, that other oppositions are trying to cover, because they know he has outsmarted them and he's doing better than the rest of them. We'll keep telling Nigerians, and we know President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will return in 2027 and finish the programs and policies he has put in place to better the lives of Nigerians
Danjuma,
and to grow our economy.
There are 2 states that, the crisis, the APC crisis is so endemic, and that is Zamfara State. There's a crisis between the current governor, Dayo Lawal, and the Minister of State for Defense. It was
the former, yes.
And then in Adeyemo State, the National Security Advisor, his crisis with Binani, the woman that got the ticket on the platform of the party in 2023, is so deep-seated, and it has caused a lot of disruption within the APC in Adeyemo State. We have not been able to find their footing. And reconciliation is becoming so difficult. I have listened to Dayo Lawal today on Arise TV where he was taking, deriding the minister.
Let me come in there before he comes.
Coming.
See, I like the way he started. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is an institution. If you have not passed through that class, you have not started politics.
Yeah.
Bula Bulu, Bulu Bula, all those things that was happening there is part of
the game.
The game. See, this Zamfara that you are talking about and the other one, it will be resolved.
Okay.
I'm not seeing those things as a problem.
But you're not a member of the APC.
Because I understand what is going on. I've seen the way this guy plays his card.
You're political.
Yeah, like he said there are internal. What PDP is lacking now is that internal mechanism to resolve issues. They are realizing it now. Is why they are going to Ibadan to go and meet. But the truth is this: are they already not mercenary among themselves?
Like yes, some wiki.
You know what I'm saying? Are they not? How many governors were there at this Ibadan meeting? How many governors were supposed to be there? How many were they not? Were not there? What are they doing as PDP to resolve their internal democracy that was planted by I don't know, allegedly the government of the day. Then on the SDP, don't say Rufai is alone, even though we know it's grieved, but it does not mean he will do much. He will try his best, but what I expect them to do now is they should still go ahead. If they want to be the best opposition, they need to go ahead and bring in more people. And it will be hard because the way President Tinubu is going, is going all around Nigeria to make his nomination. So who is going to fight him now? That's why I said it's an institution. He's playing his game well. These are the things I expect this PDP to be doing. They didn't do anything. Buhari came, he almost dismantled ABC, but Tinubu he came now and he's rearranging it. He's not even playing his card.
He's a party man.
If this guy came and messed up the whole place, not. I met a guy. He was holding 18 contracts from Castina. Small boy. He does not even know anything about the contract. because he's from the hometown. He said, I'm from hometown. I'm from hometown. He does not know anything. In this same Abuja. I'm like, what are you doing with this? And he's going around to execute selling contract. What kind of thing is this? In a Nigeria like this. So Buhari messed it up, but I feel and I believe with the way Tinubu is making his appointment, everybody, you can say anything you want to say. It's not all west. He's trying to bring it to...
It's strategic.
It's strategic. And it's getting everybody involved. So who are the people that... Look at the kind of people that he's getting into his government. There are people that will canvass, that will talk on his behalf, that will tell the whole world what he's doing.
Now, I want to start with the issue of Wike, the FCT minister. With all fairness to him, in 2015, when the PDP lost, all the big wigs ran away. It took Wike and former governor of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayose, to stand their ground. And I won't forget the memories of my late boss, Chief Ojo Madueke, who started the protest and said, no, there was no way this party is going to crumble. This party has to stand. And these people fought for the soul of the party. All these big wigs took off. And when it was now time for the food to be served, you come and you bring your big plate and you push away those who stood. If Wike and Ayo Fayose followed their footsteps and all they camped into the APC, then PDP would have died.
Serious. It was Wike that was financing everything.
So if this man has done this for the party, it is with all fairness that you also accord him some respect.
The same Wike that we're talking about today.
Now in 2019, in 2018, Atiku ran back from the APC. From the APC back to the PDP and snatched the ticket. When he lost, they were in court. Atiku jetted out of the country again, back to Dubai. Came back again in 2022 and he collected ticket again. Now when you collected the ticket, you were not smart enough to galvanize your people within the system. Now, you can't lose. See, somebody said something. There's a TikTok video I saw where Ali Baba was saying that he was having a conversation with Obasanjo. Obasanjo said you need 7 states to become president. You need Rivers. No, you need Lagos. You need Rivers. You need Kano. You need Kaduna. You need there's another state he called. Then you need the CBN as the 7th state. Right?
The CBN.
The CBN as the CBN governor, as the 7th governor. You need 7 governors to win presidential election in this country. So 6 governors of state and 1 governor of the CBN. And that is it. Allegedly. Now, you can't go after you were going into an election and 5 men governors from your party were not in support of you. And you kept clapping your hand and celebrating that you were going to win. How? Now, that is why I say Tinubu is I borrow his word, an institution. If you have not gone through it, you're just playing.
You are playing.
Now, what did he do? He leveraged on that loophole. Now, if anybody had told Peter Obi that part of what he was using allegedly to gain the popularity he gained was being sponsored by the sitting president, would he have ever accepted?
No.
So that's to tell you how smart this president is. And most of what he does is, this is a pure Democrat. Somebody that from the grassroots, he has been in this, he has learnt all through the ranks from just
everything.
The floor. He knows the whole game up till the top. So when it comes to winning election, give it to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. 2027
it's still his turn.
It's still his turn. I'm still tell me who is going to stand against it.
Because
I put it to you, Atiku is not getting PDP's ticket.
No.
And the SDP is not willing to dash his ticket to Atiku.
No.
So what are we saying? And if you come back to the south, who are you stand? See, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a builder of men. And that's the best gift any man should have. When you have men that you have built, when the ships are down, the men will come. Look at what happened at the primaries,
with you.
At the APC primaries. Candidates were stepping down for him.
Yeah.
Candidates. So automatically when they step down, look at what happened to the Senate President. The Senate President said that instead of stepping down for leader Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I call on all the 19 delegates from across Akwa Ibom, vote for him. And that is it. So it's for 2027. I think what we should be more concerned on, like you said, we should be thinking of. See, I said it somewhere. I wrote it somewhere. I said when Atiku posted pictures of him and his grandchildren, I went there and I said, you are a blessed man. God has done well for you. What you should be doing now is forget about 2027. Go to the north now, look for a young man and start grooming him, prepare him for 2031.
Yes.
But if it's 2027 presidential election, I told those I worked for Atiku in 2023. So to be fair, I worked for Atiku and I was on national TV where I said it that if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was my father, I would have been on every TV station telling people not to vote for him when he was doing the blah blah, which I didn't know it was all part of the game.
It was part of the institution.
But today, and I still told people then that if Atiku doesn't win 2023 election, he was never destined to be president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I put it to you, Atiku is not going to defend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027, and after 2027 he will be close to 90. So will you be looking for somebody in 2031 as 90 years old, the president of Federal Republic? So you should forget about this thing. Go look for a young man in the north, start grooming them for 2031.
Whether young man from the north or not, my own is this: let him just hands off.
It's gone. It's gone.
Even if it comes to SDP,
he can't win.
He cannot win because one, is not going back to the north. It is going to be at the south.
8 years must be completed.
And the south, who is not going to be the one representing the south now? From the look of things, see that if these people, the coalition, can humble themselves, I'm saying it again,
and drop
their ambition, and form a formidable team, maybe.
Which is very unlikely.
Maybe they could wrestle, but from what I'm seeing, everybody is gingatic. Everybody they have interest, but they are not ready to really succumb for one major candidate that they will all rally around. And remember, the mercenary Wike is still in place, working. I don't know how that, and the only way out is the PDP, the SDP, if they can come together, then maybe we are going to see a very strong battle. But if PDP is still separate, SDP is still separate,
Labour is on their own.
Labour is on their own. Forget it. There's nothing that can come out of it. So obviously, as you will do is 8 years.
By the special
except if those calculations can be taken and they can reason well together, both Labour, SDP, BDP put their heads together, then we can I would really want to see what that would look like. Because Asiwaju with who he is and this all gallant come together to want to battle, then we'll see a very good election.
You said something about Asiwaju's appointment. For the first time, the whole APC chairmen that are outgoing chairmen are now leaders of board, are now board chairmen. These are people that will canvass for votes. These are people, as I'm seated here now, my polling unit come 2027 is 100% for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and every other person that has held position that had interest in this government will also deliver their polling. So what are we talking about? It's not about, do you have the people on ground? Are the people there for you? Do they even believe in you? Have you seen anything that you have done in your own? Look at what is happening in Kaduna State now. The legacy of Verify is they are wiping it off 100%. As we speak right now, there's a empowerment program that's going on by the Speaker of the House of Reps in conjunction with the state governor, going on where hundreds of vehicles and everything.
The way the state governor is running that place now,
and now sharing to.
He's moving from one church to another.
The Southern Kaduna that was neglected. Southern Kaduna that was neglected in 8 years of Verify. He's working in Southern Kaduna, doing a lot of projects in Southern Kaduna. So before 2027,
he's not even welcome there again.
The matter of Verify will be.
He's not welcome there again.
That was a flag off. Abuja, Kaduna, Kano Road. It was flagged off. The reconstruction was flagged off yesterday.
Yes,
and it is going to be reinforced concrete. Yes. This is wow. When I saw it on TV, I was like, wow. Reinforced concrete. From here to Kano. And it's dualized.
Yes.
That's so massive.
You see, me, like I said before, it is high time Nigerians need to look very well before you appoint anybody. Look well. Look at that person. What has that person done even before now? What have been their results? What is their scorecard? Before you come and allow somebody that does not know anything, that has never done anything, lead you. Look at that governor of Kaduna. What that guy is doing, I've never seen it before.
Okay. As we wind down, let's talk about the ambassadorial, the release of names for new ambassadors. 109 missions abroad. That include consulates, embassies, and high commissions, have been without ambassadors for 2 years, or rather close to 2 years, because by May 29, we're going to be 2 years under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Do you think we have lost enough? in terms of diplomatic engagement?
Mr. President has stepped in. Immediately he became president. We have seen a lot of foreign trips he has made to bring in foreign direct investment into the country. I think the problem we should look at is not that it was left for 2 years. There are a backlot of debts from the place of administration that needed to be cleared. So, see, what Mr. President is doing is he makes sure he clears the way.
It's a priority list.
He has to clear the way first. It's not just by appointing people. Clear the way, make sure everything is fine. Then you now begin to appoint people so that when they get there, they can function. Not that when you appoint people and they cannot function at the end of the day. So that's what he's doing. Remember in the past administration where you hear embassies crying out that they could not pay their rents, where you had embassy staff so were not being paid and under the Buhari administration. Mr. President is not interested in that. Mr. President has done a lot to make sure he has broadened our reputation internationally, whereby we are now looked at people that are really serious, not people who didn't really know what they should do. See, Mr. President was prepared for this. We have ministers that have done. There's a rumor, allegedly rumor, that he's going to reshuffle his cabinet again, and certainly he will bring in. Look at what the Minister of FCT is doing. Abuja has been an construction site since he became minister. The Minister of Interior is doing excellently well. The Minister of Works, David May, the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road, the Sokoto Badagry Highway, and the rest of them. The Kaduna Road. Now look at Abuja, Lokoja also. Look at
Adeyemo.
There's a lot of projects going on, and this to show that this is a man who came in to better the lot. Ready, he knew what he was coming to do. Not by body language. He did not come with his coming with body language of 1983 or 1984. No, this is somebody that knows and is putting in the right people at the right position to carry out this program.
I want to ask you one question. What you are from APC?
Yes.
What are you doing about the hardship in the country?
Beautiful.
I like the question.
Now,
because road is not what will feed the people.
Now, road is not, to you feel road is not what will feed the people. The road will create employment for people where they will be able to earn a living. It will boost commerce of those environments and the rest of them, trade and commerce of those environments when you have good roads. It will shorten manpower wastage and time wastage on our federal roads and the rest of them. Now, I said something when I came here earlier. I said this government has given a lot of these companies who are doing CNG slots to make sure that those who are doing public transport go there to be converted for free.
But I see a problem with all those things.
Okay, for free, where they don't need to pay anything to convert, and they get this thing to reduce the cost of transportation.
Has it affected the transportation cost?
That is why I said it is now time we begin to ask ourselves these questions. Are we also carrying out our responsibility? I'm coming. Yes. We have a responsibility as Nigerians, as citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, if government
that thing is not the power, is not the work of the citizen.
If government has said, government has gone ahead to say, okay, now the same Nigerians will begin to cry if government begins to arrest those that they have collected. I'm coming. If government has come up to say, go convert your car for free, we have removed the cost of conversion from you so that you can now buy gas and reduce the cost of transportation, and you have done that and you are not doing the same thing. Are you being fair?
Listen,
you're not being fair to government.
You know what leading people and what governance is all about. If I have made a room for this to happen, it is still my role or my work as the government of the day to bring in price control. Me, I see that a major problem that we have in this country is price control. When things are doing well, when things are bad, everything will skyrocket. When things are good, it will still be there.
That is it. So it is a responsibility.
Okay, look at what happened to DSTV. When they came up with their new tariff, FCCPC came in and stopped them. That is what I'm talking about. Regulation.
Government is doing all this, but as citizens we also have.
But things are still not.
It is time Nigerians have to carry out an institutional change. It's urgent. It's timely. It is now.
Anywhere
if we really want to make headway, we need to also be ready. We need to be ready to also pricing. We need to be also ready to carry out our own responsibility as citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to better the lot of Nigeria. This government is doing a lot, and Nigerians should also key in and carry out their own responsibility too for the betterment of everybody at the end of the day. This government is doing well. Nigeria will be better for it. By the time before the end of this year, we begin to see. Before now, we know how much we're buying fuel. Now fuel price is dropping on daily. Policies are there. They are working, and we are.
But sincerely, hold on. But sincerely, last week I like what happened. He fired Kyari. It came back to naira to dollar, and the price came down. That's what I'm talking about. It is government that will do it. It is not individual.
Exactly. Thank you, Adeyemo, for your time today on the Polity. Danjuma, thank you so very much. I thank you most profoundly.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having me.
That's the end of our program today. I remain yours truly, Macaulay Honashi. It's quite interesting. We will come back again next time to do it. Thank you so very much. God bless Nigeria. Bye-bye.